Hello, this is Black Panther Boxing. This is just my review on Danny Jacobs versus Gennady Golovkin. I just finished watching the fight. A bit late because I was busy last night. I wasn't able to watch it, and I've been busy today, so I've only just got round to watching it. You know, obviously I saw the result before watching it, so I knew what the outcome was. However, you know, I'll give my thoughts on it. I didn't score this fight. I don't like scoring fights when I watch him because I don't think it's as enjoyable. You know, you're trying to say, oh, who won this round, who won that round. I just have a rough idea in my head. I don't have to worry about anything else. I just have a rough idea who's winning the fight, and I prefer it like that. And I prefer to look at how other people score it. Because at the end of the day, my scorecard's irrelevant anyway, whatever I have it as. But personally, at first viewing, it was a very close fight. I would have had Danny Jacobs winning. I don't know whether that's because he's the underdog and he done better than people thought, or whether he actually did outbox him. I think he did outbox Golovkin. Golovkin was coming in how he normally fights. He looked a bit slow, a bit stumpy, and Jacobs was moving off his back foot very well. He was making sure he didn't get caught on the ropes. You know, he did get a couple of times when, you know, he got dropped, but really he was coming off the ropes. You know, he was grappling, holding well, and also using the ropes and swinging around to the side. That kept him out of trouble pretty much the whole fight. You know, he didn't have any issues really. You know, he didn't take any big shots, and I think the trouble is with this shows big time that Golovkin isn't unbeatable. He isn't some kind of special fighter. You know, he is a beatable guy, and I think Kell Brook showed it as well. Kell Brook, you know, got the injury to his eye, and I think overpowered. But Danny Jacobs, I thought overpowered Golovkin in this fight big time. You know, he was clinching him, pushing him about, especially in the second half of the fight. The shots he was whipping in were a lot more meaningful. I thought Golovkin, whether he was tired or unfit or just didn't have the strength, his punches looked very weak in the second half of the fight. I'm sure Danny Jacobs knows that they weren't weak, but in comparison to the shots Danny Jacobs was throwing, the big whipping shots, landing hard, looking strong as well. Because it's right if you throw shots, whether it hurts or not. It's about how it looks as well to the judges. And I thought that Danny Jacobs was landing some big bombs on Golovkin and hitting him in body shots, uppercuts, some really nice uppercuts in there, and some good hooks around the side. The scorecard, unanimous decision to Golovkin. The trouble is, a lot of people saying this is a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. I think Golovkin, the whole fight, every round, was dominant with his jab. The trouble is, he dominated the first half of the fight, backing Jacobs up, but the second half of the fight, although he was still dominating with the jab, he couldn't pin Jacobs down. He couldn't get him on the ropes. He couldn't pin him down. My personal thoughts first is that I thought Jacobs won. I'm gutted for Jacobs because it's hard for him now where to go from here. You know, because this changes a lot. It makes it, I think, harder for Jacobs to get a fight because he looks a lot better fighter than he was known for before. I think people knew him as a possibly beatable champion. He still is beatable, but he's not a champion, and he does look very, very good, very, very strong. So I don't think people will really be looking at him for an opponent. I'm sure he'll get a big fight though. However, now everyone at middleweight, you know, is going to be looking for this Golovkin fight. I think everyone's going to see that and think he's beatable. You can outbox him, you can outsmart him, and people will be looking for this fight. And I think this could even lead on to the Canelo fight, because the Canelo fight is the biggest fight out there for Canelo and the biggest fight out there for Golovkin. Now I can see Canelo taking this fight now. The reason behind that is because Canelo wants the big payday, and the big payday will be fighting Golovkin before anyone else beats him. And I think Golovkin looks very beatable. I think you need to be a certain type of boxer to beat Golovkin. You know, someone like the Danny Jacobs style, or Kell Brook. I think if Kell Brook was a bigger, more natural middleweight, then he probably would have outboxed Golovkin and won it that night, but it is what it is. You can't change the results. I'm gutted for Danny Jacobs, but you know, that's boxing for you. We'll wait and see what both fighters do. I'd love to see a rematch, however I can't see it happening. I think Golovkin will be getting offers from all over the table, and I think there'll be bigger money fights out there for him, and he won't be taking the Jacobs rematch, because he can get a lot more money fighting somebody else that maybe he sees as an easier fight, or Golovkin may feel like he wants to go and beat Danny Jacobs, you know, beat him comfortably, beat him more, or maybe even stop him. You know, Danny Jacobs took some big shots in the first half of the fight, but he never looked in trouble. You know, he never looked, you know, he got dropped in the 4th round, but he never looked in trouble. He never looked like he was really wobbling or struggling. And then the 7th round was a big one for me. I think that's when it went from being a close fight to Danny Jacobs completely taking control, cruising to the end. Great defensive fighter, and for me the reason I gave it to Jacobs is because I score the defensive slips and rolls a lot higher than I score a jab and move or jab and come forward fighter, which is what Golovkin was, and what Jacobs was more defensively, whipping in some big shots, landing some combinations. Personally, for me, when I score a fight or when I look at a fight, I look at that more than I do a jab, and that's for me. That's why I personally think Danny Jacobs won. However, the 3 judges there maybe may have loved the jab, may have been looking at that thinking he's dominating with the jab every round. We'll have to wait and see what happens from now, but it's exciting times now, because I think Golovkin will be go from not many people wanting to fight him to now everyone will want to get in the ring with Golovkin, and I can see him being in a big fight next. 35 years old. I don't think he'll retire yet. I think, unfortunately for Golovkin, he'll keep fighting until he loses. But we'll have to wait and see.